everybody. I'm Cameron.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this is the Watching You Watch podcast.
Anime edition.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't even know what that was. But, I'm just so excited to be kicking off the second half of our Watching You Watch Attack on Titan podcast.
Oh my gosh.
We're recapping Attack on Titan with the special theme that Zach and I have seen it before. And Caitlin, this is her first time experimenting
and
with
it's
this.
crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. We just finished the first half of the show, which ends with this battle on Trost, and there's this big epic stuff with Eren finding out that he can change into a Titan, and it's all sorts of boom, in-your-face epic action. And then we dive right into the second half, and things immediately just get so much more, I don't know how to call it, like twisted, maybe?
Yeah, twisted.
Epic, intricate.
It's very complex, and it's one of my favorite things about the show. So just some immediate impressions, Caitlin, about how things have changed. What are you feeling? What do you think?
Opening title.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, recap the opening title for us perfectly, and we want all the details.
Okay, no, you don't have to do that.
Oh, come on.
But seriously, though, opening title, what did you think? I personally like this one way better than the first one.
Okay, well, I started out and I was like staring almost like in shock and horror because there was so much to take in. So at first I was like, I don't like it because it made me kind of nauseous.
Eyes were like dinner plates. It was great.
They're just like flump glazed over.
Yeah. And so then the second time I watched it, because we, covered 3 episodes, the second time I got a chance to like actually watch it, not just be like blown away by the newness of it. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. It's definitely intense. And by the third time, I liked it. So it's definitely epic. There's a lot going on there, and I can't sing it yet like I could the first one. So that's coming.
In German.
Yes, that too. A lot more
in it.
German. And where's the livestock complacency?
Oh, I know. Gone is that. Now we have Flügel der Freiheit.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is that?
Got the wings of freedom.
Oh my gosh. Well, in this episode, we're recapping the first 3 episodes of the second part of season 1. So if you have followed along with the show before, that picks up right with Eren being put on trial for being a Titan shifter person, and it ends with the cadets that were with Eren originally making some decisions to join the scouts, and they are about to go on this big mission. So, Caitlin, why don't you recap the highlights of that?
All right, so it starts out where Eren gets put on trial, and it's basically like the military police people, so the military police and the people from the inner circle, against the scout regiment, basically. So the scouts, like, they're all for having Eren, like, they know he's a risk, but he's a risk that they're willing to take. But then the military police are like, we should just kill him right now. I mean, we've seen the things that he can do, and they're good, but we should kill him. And they're very pompous. And then Levi's like, you're all fat and stupid. And so then they have this awesome twisted plan that first, like, it horrified me. I didn't know what the heck was going on, where basically, like, they start calling out Mikasa as also being part of whatever Titan scheme is going on, and Eren flips out, and he starts screaming, getting all angry, and everyone's afraid, and then Levi comes out and starts, like, literally kicking the teeth out of Eren, like, kicking him so hard, just brutalizing him, saying, like, you see this? Like, I can control this. And so it was like a ploy the whole time that they knew they were going to pull this out, where Levi was going to prove that he's going to be under complete control if he's with the scouts. So that was really cool. And then right after that, after the big what's-his-face makes the vote that, yes, Eren can stay with the scouts, then Hanji, who's like the mad scientist chick,
Yes.
she's like, can I look into your mouth? And then she opens up his mouth, and one of Eren's teeth, the one that got kicked out, it grew back.
Which is weird.
Awesome. And we were kind of joking about how, like, cliffhanger about a tooth, but it seriously was.
It really is a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So that was, like, the first episode, and then into the second one, we got to see more of the different personalities in the scouts, and they're all, like, super weird in some way or another. And we also got to see more of what was going on with the captured Titans and how Hanji has been studying them, and she's kind of crazy and sometimes treats them like overgrown puppies, but at the same time, like, we got to see a lot more, and she's talking to Eren about how, like, maybe she can learn from him, and one of the interesting things that I took away from that, too, is that whenever they sever limbs from them, the limbs are super light, so there's this idea that these titans are huge and heavy and whatever, but, like, they're actually not, and they might be made out of something else that, like, they didn't really say anything about that.
This is a weird thing about them. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. And then they were like, well, you know, when you pull out your stops and become a titan, like, you basically do it out of thin air. So, and then they're like, yeah, we don't know what that means.
That defies a lot of the laws of physics.
So that was, like, the second episode, but it ends with the fact that somebody killed the 2 titans that they had restrained, and Hanji was, like, having a cry fit about it.
Yeah, she was really upset about it.
She was.
There's some good screaming in this show.
Yes. And then the third episode picks up with the fact that the scouts, or the cadets, are making their decision about which regiment to join up with. And basically all of our beloved join the scouts except for Annie, which is, like, strange.
Yeah, she decides to go with the military police, which she could have done as a top 10.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, she just, I don't know, like, her personality was so, like, you know, I'm in it to fight for myself, and yet at the same time she seemed like she was above it.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
But she makes it clear to Armin in that one scene. She's like I'm only thinking about me. And if you were mistaking that, like, I'm gonna make that clear to you.
But I just don't buy it.
It's just.
But anyway.
Yeah, we can talk about.
Yeah. So with the summary, Annie doesn't join the scouts. Everyone else does, and we finish up that episode with them going on this big mission to basically reclaim what's in the cellar.
Yep. Epic stuff. I can't wait for the next series of stuff. But right now, we've got a lot of questions to sort of recap. So, Zach, why don't you start us off?
All right. So, going back to that court scene with the premiere and all of that business, what did you make of all that military infighting, and how does that reflect on their society as a whole?
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting because we kind of want to see the military as, like, almost separate from the general populace. But here we have, like, the scouts literally, like, calling the military police fat and lazy and stuff. Mm-hmm. And saying, like, you don't know how much we have sacrificed for you guys, you know? And we get to see a little bit more of that contrast where, like, the scouts notably have had the greatest losses, but they have, like, the greatest fighters, too.
Right.
And, like, and They know the stakes.
Yeah,
because
Eren says, like, you guys haven't seen a Titan like these guys have or I have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they even, like, at the beginning, they were talking about, like, oh, they say they have somebody who can transform into a Titan. Yeah, don't believe that crap, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's all rumor. Like, they haven't seen what's actually going on with these people. They haven't seen the bloodshed. They haven't seen any of it. And so, like, I think that, I don't know, that was just a very interesting perspective to get, where we get to see the military itself fighting, not just, like, the people talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm still curious about what that means because we have, like, the scouts who seem to be the elites, and yet we know that the military police only come from the top 10. Mm-hmm. So I want to know, like, what kind of fighters are actually in the military police that haven't gotten a chance to actually show their potential yet. And I'm wondering if they're going to get that chance because I really don't think that everything's going to stay all cushy in the inner circle for forever.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Yeah. And one of their big ticket words was, oh, well, this is bad and we don't like it because we don't know, and rebellions.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, hey, like, Eren's presence is inciting rebellions. And they're like, what?
Why the heck do they even care about that? Like, what? There are bigger problems.
Yeah,
they were just frustrating the heck out of me. I just wanted to throw something at them.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite parts about that whole sequence is, like, after it happens and they have that whole thing where Levi and Erwin come by and they're like, hey, sorry, Eren, we had to beat the crap out of you. Yeah. But, hey, like, our plan worked. And Eren's like, wait, well, that was your plan? Well, that's weird. So, I, like, want to get your thoughts on, like, how Levi and Erwin are, like, these, like, master strategists, it seems, to the point where they, like, can not only, like, strategically play a battlefield, but also, like, a courtroom.
Yeah, they've totally played the courtroom. So I'll admit that Levi is awesome, but he also terrifies me. And like that took down a little bit when he was wearing a bonnet, but
when they're cleaning the castle.
Yes.
but yeah, I really want to know more about their backstory because I think it was Petra who mentioned that Levi sort of dragged Erwin into the Scouts. So like we don't really know much about them, but they came in together. And the fact that they played off each other like that and they knew exactly like you said, how to work a courtroom. I don't know. Is there something to be said for the rebellion aspect? Like, I don't know. I feel like they see, though, a little bit more of the political
like the wider
crap that's going on. Yeah, and so, like, they know the outside stakes for sure because of being Scouts, but I think they also see what's going on with the power playing in the center. And like, I don't think they're going to let that stand that way.
You got to see all of the Levi squad, the elites of the Scouts. What were your thoughts of them?
They are all so strange. Like, they're awesome in a way, but it's like, you can tell that they have to be a little bit insane to be in the Scouts, you know? Mm-hmm. And they've all proved that. Like, I think Petra's probably the most stable of them.
Probably.
Then we've got Sniffles, who thinks that, like, he can just learn every single person's identity by sniffing them.
I'm trying to
like,
his name.
That's really strange.
Yeah, I can't remember. His name's escaping me right now, but...
like Zachariah.
Yeah, Zachariah.
There was a lot of Zacharies and Zacharias.
There are, yeah. There's a lot of... There's just like a name dump in this episode.
There was. It was really hard.
It's
and then
there's
like
that first chain of stuff when we first met all the cadets.
All the cadets, right. That's what it was like. So I'm still familiarizing with them. Erwin, like... He seems stable, but at the same time, he's got these, like, I don't know, these undertones of, like, ready to take down anything, dive headlong sort of person. Then we've got Levi, who, like...
You're just not sure where to place him.
I don't know what to think about him because he's clearly talented, you know, like originally deemed Male Casa.
Male Casa.
Male Casa.
But at the same time, like, he didn't hold back at all with literally kicking the crap out of Eren. Like, did he have to be that brutal? I don't know. Like, I know he was proving a point, but, like, even the military police, they were like, shouldn't you, stop?
Like, isn't this unnecessary?
And he's like, no, and then kick.
That means, like, you guys are gonna kill him, so, I mean, what does it matter if I do
And
here?
It did prove a point, but,
really
like,
funny. They were
it
pointing
was...
a gun at him.
Yeah, they were like, we're just gonna shoot him, and then as soon as he started kicking him, then they're like,
Yeah.
Which, like, that kind of speaks, too, about, like, have they actually seen brutality?
Yeah.
Don't think so. But anyway, back to the Scouts. We have Hanji, who, like, clearly has a screw loose.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, like, I think she's hilarious. And I think, like, her ideas and her, hypotheses about all of the Titans are going to prove really useful later if she can continue to study them, because not a lot of people have yet, and so it's definitely something that has to be done. But she goes out there and she names them, and she giggles every time they try and kill her. So, that's... what was it? Sonny and Bean? Those were the last two.
Yeah. One of my favorite of the new cadets, too, is Aruo, who's the one who dresses and imitates Levi.
Oh,
he's got the same haircut, and he's, like, talking the same way. He's got, like, the same little, like, cravat.
Yeah,
there.
he's funny.
I love how Petra calls him out. She's like, you're imitating the captain, and he's like, oh, well, then, you're gonna have to sleep with me because you're clearly hot for captain, too.
Yeah.
And then she's like, ew, you're a pig. And I just love that whole sequence
Oh, yeah,
of,
and
like...
he's like... about the lady doth protesting.
Yes,
yeah,
the lady doth protesting.
He's really funny. And but I really appreciate it too that, like, we've come through so much trauma with the Battle of Trost, and now, like, we get to see the Scouts, and we're expecting that, like, the stakes are going to be so much higher, and they are, but it's, like, cut down a little bit because right now we're getting to see more personalities and, like, some humor come out, and so I appreciate it.
You get the sense, too, that those people are just, like, very well acquainted with each other. They're very close because, like, they've been
survived
through so much, and, like, they say, like, 60% of our ranks just died, and, like, the people who we have, left, they had to deal with that. They had to live through that, and they've...
It's a very close-knit group.
They are very close-knit, yeah. So yeah, they're a great group, and I love how we get introduced to them in this series of episodes.
Definitely.
Let's move on to something you've already kind of talked about a little bit. We've talked about Hanji's experiments, and she goes and she like basically puts into detail like everything, like this is what we did, and this is what we tried, and this is what happened. It's very scientific, and she explains this all to Eren. So what did you make of her findings? What did you think that revealed about the Titans?
Yeah.
What did you think?
So the big takeaway that she had was the fact that they need light. So they've proven, often that they don't need to eat or drink or do any of these things or reproduce, but they do need light, and that each one of them has different levels of tolerance without it. But basically, the longer they remained without light, the weaker they became. And I thought that was interesting, first of all, because like I had always wondered, here we have these horrible monsters, and they never attack at night. And there's something awfully terrifying about something, scaring you in the daylight, like, because that never happens.
True.
So, like, you have to be downright terrifying to make the light scary. So that was cool from, like, just a cinematic standpoint. But then, in the realm of the show, like, that makes me really wonder what they're made of then. Because then what do they do at night? Like, because if they couldn't last all the way through the night, which some of them couldn't, then, like, what do they do? Do they disappear? And then, she had that implication about, you cut off a limb and you hold something and it's as light as bark. Like, are they just made of air? Like,
yeah, like,
I'm so confused. But I think
they clearly bleed and do a lot of things. Yeah. I see them already, like people do, So I don't know.
I really don't know.
I think more important is what happens after this. And Zach, why don't you...
So, get out your Sherlock Holmes outfit because we got a case of a whodunit.
Yep.
Who do you think killed Sonny and Bean? Now, you don't necessarily have to say a specific person, it could be a group, but what are your sort of inklings at this point?
Somebody from the military police.
You think so?
Yep.
And why exactly what would be their intent behind this action?
Well, so we've had this kind of growing suspicion about, like, levels of control and not letting people into the outside world, and, the wealthy stay with the wealthy and the poor are just fodder. And here we are finally learning just what the Titans do and where they come from, and, we're finally getting some insight, and all of a sudden that opportunity's gone. Just like... Armin talking about the book that he wasn't supposed to have because it was referencing the outside. Like, it just seems like all evidence of things coming from the outside are just stripped away. So somebody from the higher-ups did it.
So you're thinking they'll even restrict Titan information just to keep people ignorant?
Do you think maybe that's why Erwin, when he cornered Eren there, was like, who do you think the real enemy is here? Like, you have to keep that in mind.
Yep. I honestly think that's what he meant.
It's a really interesting thing to highlight that, I mean, he's this guy who goes out, he leads soldiers to fight in the toughest conditions outside of the walls to kill Titans, and yet he's saying, like, listen, our real enemy's inside these walls.
And that's also terrifying.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
Yep.
But I have one last candid question to get into before we go into our weekly wrap-up questions. Who is the better screamer, Hanji or Armin?
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Eren's in it too.
I guess Eren.
Ooh, and Erwin too.
Erwin.
There's a lot of screamers and Pixis scream.
But honestly, I think, like, as far as, like, scream per, like scream ratio screen time,
I'm pretty
much
enough.
Armin's
screen time screamers.
Screen time screamers,
okay. Yeah, there's more screams.
Armin has that, like,
Armin's got it, yeah.
But this isn't a question of who has more, it's who does it better. And is it Hanji or Armin?
Okay, so with Armin, like, he's screaming and everyone just kind of looks at him and is like, wow, But with Hanji, like, everyone is like, holy crap, shut her up. So obviously, like...
she's, like, insane, and she's, like, crying and laughing.
Yes. So I'm going to give it to Hanji, partly because I love her, and partly... I mean, I love Armin, too, but it's just different. But, yeah, she's insane. Like, Armin screams for justice. She's screaming because she's lost it.
Yes.
Her big, beautiful, human-eating baby.
She's like, Sonny! Bean!
That's one of my favorite
She even tells
moments.
them, like, stories. Like,
Yeah. She's like, hey, like, you guys are named after a cannibal tribe, and let me tell you the story about how they got to be, and blah, blah, blah.
I
And
love it.
then-
There's people throwing up in the background.
Yeah.
She's telling this gory story. And they're just like, I'm going to eat that girl down there if she gets close enough.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, she's completely insane. And part of me was like, oh my gosh, like, does she not realize, like, the damage that these things have done? But then she was like, no, like, I do this because I have seen it. And it's like, she's taking them down a notch because, like, it makes you not fear them as much. And, like, now I totally respect her for it. And it's awesome.
Yeah. I just love the way she, like, lights up when Eren's like, okay, tell me everything.
And everyone
she's
leaves.
Like, she's like, okay, yes, I'll tell you everything. And they're like up all night talking about it.
Oh my
But you
goodness.
probably already know this part from your studies. Yes. Oh, great! Then that's a good starting point for us. And of course, it's all the way through the night.
Yes.
That's great.
Oh, man. But let's move into our weekly wrap-up questions here.
Oh, wait. Caitlin, it's also important to note, we had a lot of cadets join the Scouts.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
How do you think that they're going to do?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes, very yes.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we know that, like, 60%, well, at least 30% are gonna die. So, I think...
If you had to, like...
Okay, live or die. Let's go through some
Yeah,
names
that's
here.
a good idea.
Live or
So,
die, okay.
Connie, live or die.
Oh, no, he was one I was gonna say die.
Aw.
Sasha, live or die.
If she died,
It's always the funny ones.
I know, that's why I thought Connie and Sasha, and I really don't want to say that.
And survey says...
I'm gonna say live.
Okay.
All right.
Reiner.
Die.
Okay.
No hesitation.
No
No, but like
hesitation.
I feel like he's gonna be one of those that like dies to protect like kind of
Okay.
the more innocent ones, like
Okay.
Krista.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah. How about
Krista?
Krista?
I think Krista's gonna live but be horribly scarred.
Okay.
Interesting. Berthold.
He's gonna watch Rhina die.
Oh boy.
Ooh, how
Okay.
about, who are we forgetting? Ymir?
Ymir. She's always with
Oh
Krista.
Yeah.
yeah.
Her name is barely mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Shoot. She's just this is horrible, but it's like we haven't seen enough of her to that she's like that important.
Yeah, well, we've seen, like, 2 times of her, basically. Like, the first time we really, like, significantly see her, she's saying, like, hey, Krista, let's get married in the heat of battle.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then the second time we see her, she's telling Krista to, like, stop crying if she's gonna, like, you know...
Yeah,
join the
which
Scouts.
makes me also wonder, like, is Krista gonna watch her die?
Yeah. Well, I mean... Remember way back when during the training montage and, like, one of the guys is asking, like, hey, like, why isn't he grilling certain people?
Mm-hmm.
And they show, like, Eren and Mikasa and all them. They're like, they're seeing horrors. you
Yeah,
know?
but
they show
she-
Ymir in that list,
Yeah,
too.
she had seen it. That's right. Okay. She's kind of on the cusp, man. Okay, for now I'm gonna say live.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Jean.
Oh, Jean.
He's gonna live.
Okay.
And we have Armin.
Nope, live.
And Mikasa.
Absolutely live.
Absolutely. Oh, wow.
Not even a question.
Okay. And then I guess that there's other people whose names we don't have, but you know.
I mean, they're the obvious fodder.
They're-
Yeah, they are
Obvious
gonna die. Like,
obvious
as,
fodder, live or die.
as soon as you like saw that there was more than just our core group standing there, you're like, oh, they're gone.
If you were faced with that decision, like, okay, let's say, hypothetically say that you had, like, all the options chosen to you. So you were top 10. You could choose military police. You could choose scouts. You could choose the garrison. Where would you go?
That's really hard. I definitely wouldn't choose military police.
No.
No.
I mean, but that's the cushiest
Interesting.
job for
But
you.
I know that, and I think, honestly, I'm a conspiracy theorist already.
Oh.
So,
You
like,
couldn't handle being in there.
I couldn't handle it.
Unless you're going to be a mole.
Yeah. So I guess it would kind of depend on who my friends were at that point, because like with so many people dying, you want to stay with at least someone you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and that was a big thing when you saw people leaving.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Armin and Mikasa are there.
Right.
Because it's very clear, like, you know, like, I'm gonna be with Eren no matter what.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say hypothetically that I grew up just like, you know, Eren and Armin and them, and I had seen it before all of this. I would say Scouts.
Okay.
Because I would have that like fire
Drive
and
for revenge.
yeah. But if I was on one of the inner circles, I would say Garrison because it's kind of like a happy medium.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
And you really do. They do some good if they do their job.
Hannes. Yeah, he's a Garrison. He's not bad.
Yeah, and he's all of a
he's
sudden what? Like
engineered
he's
like a bunch of.
engineer?
And
Yeah.
what's really neat to hear in this episode that makes it more significant that Hannes made these improvements to the wall is that there's a wall cult that's fighting them every like step
That's
of the way.
true.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
We saw them a little bit before, but now they seem to have, like, Eren's had actual clout, and that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because clout.
All right, well, let's move on to our
cool.
weekly wrap-up questions now.
So if you could have one lingering question answered, what would it be this week?
Shoot. I mean, the obvious is who actually killed Sonny and Bean.
Yeah.
But if I were going to pick a non-obvious question, I want to know, like, what Annie's actually doing.
Oh,
Okay.
Like-
You seem to follow into it.
Yeah,
Case.
you really like Annie.
Yeah, I do, though, but, like, I really just don't believe that she's as selfish as she claims, and therefore, like, I want to know more about her.
I think she's a pretty complicated character, just because every time we've seen her, she's either been very quiet or, like, she says something that's just very, like, cutting.
Yeah,
It gets right to
exactly.
the heart of everything.
And they
Yes.
wouldn't dwell on that if she didn't have, like, a really complicated past that we were
Right.
eventually going to find out. So I want to know what her deal is.
Yeah, I mean, she says it was her dad who taught her to fight, and like that's the last we hear of it.
Yep.
And like you know the way that she says that it's like not on a level. It's like either like things aren't good with her dad, or her
God.
dad is dead,
Oh
or
man, God forbid this be a mecha anime and she has daddy issues.
oh, hush now. Well, while we're talking about the cadets again, let's move on to cadets. Cadet of the week. We really don't see them a lot in this chain of episodes. We get to see them kind of shine in the third of these 3 episodes that we watched. So, who would be your cadet of the week this week?
My cadet of the week, this is going to be kind of like weird, but is actually Sasha.
Okay.
Because she's the person I did not expect at all to join the Scouts.
Okay. I can see it.
Like, I know she's the funny character and, like, she's always dwelling on food and stuff, but, like, the Scouts, that's a really big decision. Like, and it's terrifying. Like, they were told up front that they probably are going to die. And here we have this funny character, and she's like, this is so scary, but I'll do it anyway. And, like, so, I don't know. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah.
Because she could have easily chickened out, and, like, nobody would have said that would go against her character, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually almost seemed counter to her character to not take the easy way.
Right,
That's
because,
true.
yeah, like, obviously everyone else, it kind of makes sense.
And yet-
Especially, like, Armin and Mikasa and them, but, like...
But you see these sort of, like, unexpected moments of, like, heroism and brilliance from Sasha, like when the one cadet's falling from the wall.
Yeah, and she
they
shoots him in the
first-
leg, yeah.
and she gets him, like, she saves him, you know?
Yeah, but she straight up says, like, I never want to see this again. And yet,
Yeah.
and that's the decision she made, so...
Yeah.
I would say power to her.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool. This episode also has a lot of intrigue, a lot of setting up things, but I just want to know good feels, bad feels, where are we placing those as one? Where are your top good and bad feels here?
Okay. Good feel is definitely anything with Hanji. Like,
Yes.
for goodness sake, she's so funny and crazy, and I loved listening to her stories just as much as Sonny and Bean probably did.
You'd be sitting there on the ground with, like, your head nailed
Like,
there, being like,
So yeah, that was kind of like a continuous good feel, even when, like, she picked up Eren's tooth and was like, this is science!
My God, she's like a medieval.
I love it how she's
Woman.
like sitting there when she like first comes to Eren like at the castle, and then she's like twiddling her fingers like we're gonna do science, and she's just like, and like Eren's like oh okay, and then everybody's gone.
Yep.
Yep.
So that was definitely a good feel. Bad feels, man. I mean, it obviously didn't feel good to watch Eren get the tar beat out of him. But like I saw the outcome then. Like at
Yeah, it
first that
saved
was
him.
like really hard. So I would say bad feels overall is just like the feeling that I'm getting from the military police and like that group. Kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
I just
So the
feel
fact
like
that you
The bad
don't know
vibe.
like what exactly is going on.
it's a really
there.
bad vibe. So like a lot of what we had in these a couple of episodes, it was kind of a build-up. Like, not a lot of really bad stuff happened yet. But, like, I can feel something bad is coming, and it's coming from that direction.
Or maybe it's coming from the cellar. Or
I don't
maybe
know!
it's coming from somewhere outside the wall, because this is where we leave them. Like, they're going on this big expedition. They're charging out the gate on horseback, and we have no idea what's waiting for them.
Yeah, but there was still hopeful music, so
Yeah.
that can't be a bad feel yet.
Well, let's think about every other time.
No, just don't talk about it. Leave it at that. We'll leave it
So,
at that.
wait. Before we get her more depressed, how screwed is humanity?
What were they at last week?
You were at a solid 6.
Solid 6. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being screwed,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put them at a 5.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're halfway to not having humanity screwed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of movement made, I think,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the right direction these past couple episodes. So I
Humans are
think it's
taking the
fair.
offensive.
It's true, and it's really the first time ever in that 100-year period. Like, that's part of Eren's big sell to the cadets. He's like, listen, you can either be a part of the garrison and you can sit there and wait to die, or you can be a part of changing the fate of humanity forever right now. And some people look at that and are all like, this is crazy, we're out of here, and other people are all like, no, I want to be a part of that. And it's his big sell. So yeah, I think it's fair.
Change you want to see in the world. Kill all the Titans.
So yeah, one last question. This mission,
I don't know.
what do you think about it? What are your thoughts, feelings? How successful is it going to be?
I mean, obviously they're gonna get to the cellar and no one's gonna die and everyone's gonna be super happy and they're gonna find the secret and kill all the Titans. That's
And
obviously what's
then
gonna happen.
Walt Disney's going to be in the credits.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm really scared, but I think what they're going to find in the cellar is going to be highly implicating people in the inner circle.
Yeah.
I honestly think the Titans are the secondary offense at this point.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's definitely loss coming, and I'm nervous for Eren's sake.
Yeah.
I'm really just hoping
Fair.
that he can pull it off because I know Levi's not going to hold back if he doesn't.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was actually a
Mikasa
big
and
sell that
Mikasa are
too.
going to have a problem.
Well, Levi's like, hey, I'll kill him, if things get crazy, because
Yep.
I can.
Yep.
And they're like, well, okay.
I mean, I guess that works.
Well, yeah. Well, it's been fun watching you watch this set of episodes. If you've been following along with Caitlin and you've been enjoying it too, you can connect with us in a couple different ways. You can connect with us on our YouTube channel. That's Useful NPCs, where you can watch these. You can comment on the videos of these. You can comment on our channel. Send us some questions.
Yeah,
you
please
can,
We
do.
always like them.
Yeah, you can also do that over Twitter. We're at Useful NPCs. So you can connect with us there. We also have a Tumblr, usefulnpcs.tumblr. Zach kind of has free reign of that.
I just like things.
So,
Give me things to reblog.
yes, he did not have a Tumblr before this Tumblr, and it's just the wide world of Tumblr is now
Oh my
open
God,
to him.
all the art. It's so great.
So anyway, there's that. If you've got questions for Caitlin that are in that same leading vein that we've been using with her, feel free to send them our way. We want to hear them. We want to hear from you. We're really excited to see what's going to come here as she finishes the second half of the season. And I know it's going to be great. I'm super excited.
I'm super excited.
Excitement.
So yeah, you'll have to tune in next week when we kind of see what this expedition's gonna be like for the scouts. It's gonna be
Oh man, TPK or get out.
it's gonna be an interesting thing to see. It's gonna be epic. Might be sad. Might be triumphant.
I'm so
I mean,
nervous.
I know how it goes. Zach knows how it goes.
The manga is excellent. Read it.
Stop.
All right, well, you guys have to tune in next time when we find out how she reacts to all this. I can't wait. so it's gonna be good.
Yup.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
너가 오래가 오래잖아